Okay, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We are going to review today Mat by Massively, which is our new self-service bot platform, which allows anyone to build and deploy AI-powered chatbots with no code required. I'm going to pass it over to Dylan, who is going to take you through kind of the full tutorial. But what we're going to see today is kind of an overview on how to build a bot and how some of our advanced features work, including live chat, Smart Answers, which is our AI-powered FAQ tool. He's going to show you how to deploy, how to configure the look and feel your bot, and how our Smart Answers and live chat work. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Dylan, and he will take you through the whole process. Dylan?
Hi, everybody. So, of course, the first thing that you're going to see when you arrive is the login screen. What you're going to want to do is create an account. I just need a little bit of basic information for that. The email address that you use to sign up will feature in later in the live chat and contact form, the live chat feature. And so make sure that's an email that you actually use. I already have an account, of course, so I'm just going to go back and log in. So when you first get here, the dashboard, of course, is going to be empty. So what you're going to want to do is go up here to create new. And here you're going to see a few options. So you can create a blank chatbot from scratch, or you can start with one of the templates. The templates are just sort of preloaded structures with placeholder content that you can edit and swap out, and that will help you sort of quickly create a bot along one of these lines, which is described by their titles. But to get a better idea of the features, let's just go into the blank chatbot to start. Okay, so we'll start out with a name, description, which is just for you. That doesn't show up for the users. And then we'll start with a new message. So I'll go over the fields here first. Message, this is the text of the message. So this is what the user is going to see. The tag is an identifier for the message, which helps for structuring the bot later on. Reply type here is the way that the user is able to interact with the message. Jump to determines the structure based on the tags. And then these options here are for adding media to the message. So let's just start with a simple text message first. And we'll leave the tag untouched for now, and we'll select a reply type. So in this case, let's select prompted. So prompted reply type will provide the user with a number of choices in the form of buttons to sort of guide their responses. You can have up to 10 or as few as 1. So let's go with 2 for now. Okay. And this, of course, this is the text that of the button that the user will see. And then these little jump tos here determine where the choice leads. So let's add a couple more text messages. Okay. And so we can edit the tags here. The tags do all need to be unique, but you can customize them. So once I've updated those tags, I can use them here. So if I go up here, I can select good and bad. So now we'll see in the preview in a little bit, but once we get, we've selected that, now if the user selects those, they will go down one of these two paths. So that's basically how the prompted reply type works. It's like a suggested responses or a quick reply feature on Facebook and Twitter. And then the web chat, it shows up the same way. So the non-reply type is fairly straightforward. what that means is that the bot will not stop there, but will go immediately to the next message indicated without waiting for user input. So let's make a new text message here. And let's call that menu. And then these are both set to reply type none. And so we'll select jump to menu there. So now what will happen is the user will be presented with these choices. They can select one, they'll get this message, and then it will immediately go to this message here. If I select free text, what will happen is that there won't be any buttons, and the user will be able to type in whatever they want at that point, which is good for if you want to sort of collect free-form user information for reference later, or if you're asking an open-ended question in a survey or a quiz or something like that. So let's use free text, and then we will create a new carousel. So there's basically two main types of messages, which are the text messages, which can have images or URLs attached. And then there are carousel types. So the carousel is a Facebook feature that we also use on our own native web chat. And this basically creates a card that can have images. So let's get an image in there. And has several other fields beyond that. So there's, a title, a subtitle, which is optional. So we just leave that empty for now. And it says empty here, but that just means that the subtitle won't show up for the user. And then a couple of buttons. So what we can do is, obviously we have the button title, which is the text that we displayed. So let's call this one website. And then there are two types of buttons. One is postback and one is external link. So external link, that's pretty straightforward. Whatever website you put in here, and when the user clicks this button, they will be taken to that website. And then postback works the same way as the choices in the text messages. So you select a title, that's what the text of the button will be. And then from jump to, you can select other messages and other carousels using their tags. So in this case, I can make a second one here. Same options for now. So as you can see in this message here, if you want to deploy the chatbot to Facebook Messenger, the cards all need to have both buttons because Facebook has very strict guidelines for what will and will not display. If you're only displaying it on a web chat, you can have just one button or no buttons, and it will still work. So in this case, what we've done here is we created a couple of elements. You can have up to 5 cards per carousel. With 2 buttons each, one which will open an external website and one which will take the user back to the menu. So this is another way of interacting with the bot that provides a little bit more options, more interactivity, a little bit more media, so it can kind of spruce it up if you're deploying the bot to Facebook or web chat there. So the types of image, types of media that you can append here, we can add an image. And what will happen there is that gets uploaded to our servers, and then that will display sort of attached to the text message. So let's just make sure this actually shows up here when we get to that stage. Okay. And what I'm going to do actually is this. this tag here. That, and then if you want to add a URL, it essentially works the same way. So let's just take this here and paste that in. And so now that will be attached to the message. And yes, as you can see, you only need one button if you are using prompted reply type. Carousels. There we go. Okay, let's save that. And good. Now, okay, so and another type of button that you can use is jump to contact form. So sure, thanks for the suggestion. How do I sign up? Okay, and then you can see here in the jump to drop-down menu, in addition to all the messages that you've created and their associated tags, there is a default tag, which is contact form. So if you select that, this button, when pressed, will automatically take the user to the contact form, which I will show you in a moment. There's also a default, which is end, which will and then pressing that button will cause the chatbot experience to end. So if you do want, often these are just going to be sort of free form, non-linear experiences, but if you do want your experience to have a defined ending, then that's how you would select that. So let's just leave it like this for now. This has all the basic features here, and we'll save and proceed to the next step, which is to customize the rest of the features. Okay, so this is on your own account. When you first get started, you may see these behind a free trial wall, so you can start your free trial to enable those and test them out. So let's just get started up here. So if I enable smart answers, this, as Russ was saying, is our sort of native FAQ feature. And what you can do is upload a CSV. You can download an example smart answers file if you want to see how it's formatted, and that'll download right there. And essentially, all it is questions in one column and answers in another column. But again, just to make sure that your file will be formatted correctly, go ahead and download the example and take a look at that. And when you have your set ready, you can upload it here, and we'll get to the sort of meat of that in a little bit. Live chat is just what it sounds like. So if you have that enabled, that allows your users to talk directly to you or an agent that you have through our native live chat portal when you're logged in. So again, I'll get to that shortly, but let's just enable it for now. Automatic responses. So these are basically, these work on an intent classifier. So when a user does type something in, rather than pressing a button, if you have smart answers enabled, the first thing that will happen is we'll check that input against the smart answers that you have uploaded to see if it matches one of the Q&A pairs. And then if it doesn't, we'll match it to an intent. So in the greeting, rude messages, thank you messages, or goodbyes. And these have default replies that you can see here, but you can also customize them and so customize how the bot will respond in those cases. Contact form, which I mentioned earlier, this is sort of an alternative to live chat, or it can also work in conjunction with live chat, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. And this allows you to collect information from your users, that for whatever purpose you might have there, whether it's lead generation or customer support, or if they have a question that is not covered by your smart answers, or etc. So you have, by default, you have your account email here, but you can also add other emails, as many as you like, separated by commas. And what will happen is every time the contact form is filled out, all those emails addresses will be notified that someone has filled out the contact form and wants to talk to you. You have the option for persistent contact form, and if I enable this, what that does is that it will show this contact button throughout the entire bot experience. If I turn that off, then the contact buttons will only be the ones that we indicated in the previous step. So for now, I'm just going to turn that on so you can see how that works. And then a privacy policy, this is a necessity, of course. When you're going to be taking users' information, you have to have some kind of privacy policy. So you put the URL in here. For now, I'm just going to use ours. And then you can select any number of these questions that you want to ask the users. So if I click that, let's say name, let's say email, I can change the text of these to whatever I would like, a message or question, and then a phone number. And of course, there are 2 custom fields here, so you can add additional questions along whatever lines you like. And then weekly report down here, this is, you'll get an email report at the start of every week on the usage statistics of your bot. So now that we've done all of that, let's save and select a platform to deploy on. So we have a couple of options here. We have a web interface. This is sort of just the basic web a web link. So you can take this link and send it to people. You can embed it on your site. Display ad, I will get to this in a second. That's the customization options, but this will give it to you in a code format that will make it easier for you to use as a chat-enabled ad unit. And then social media platforms, we have an easy Facebook deployment option and Twitter deployment, which is currently in beta, so we'll need a little bit of help with that. But for the time being, let's start with web chat. Okay, so once you select web chat or display ad, as you saw there, you'll be taken to the visual customization interface. So this gives you a number of options to change what your bot is going to look like. So you can change all the available colors. Let's make something that looks, decent. For the chatbot text, the user text, you can change the font and font size, the boldness, all of that good stuff. You can create a chatbot icon like that, like so. Let's stick with more or less with the massively colors for now. That kind of makes sense. Okay. And then you can, of course, change the response buttons, the chat window, so you can put a background image or change the background color. You can remove, if you don't want the users to be able to type at all, if you want a completely guided experience using only the buttons, you can toggle the footer off, which will disable the type a message bar. If you're an advanced user, you can remove the Powered by Massively watermark down there. And you can also add a header image, a nice banner up there, which has a number of different customization options as well. So all that lets you sort of give it the look that you want. Once you're done with that, you can save it and you get the embed code here. So this is just the direct link to the bot. This is the embed code, and then you're pretty much good to go. So let me copy that, and we'll head back here to check out the Facebook deployment. So for Facebook Messenger, all you'll have to do, so just click here. And first thing you'll have to do is link your Facebook account to the Massively Facebook app. It'll pop up here and ask you to sign in. And once you've signed in, that will grant access for the Massively app to your pages, any pages that you own. Then you can select the page you would like to deploy the bot to from here. I'll just select this test page for now. And you can add a customized welcome message that will pop up when users open your message window. And once you click deploy messenger, and that's it. The bot is now deployed to that Facebook account. And now we can go back to test out the web link. Okay. So to test it out here, I'm just going to take the direct link, open up a new tab, and start it up. So now we can go through the stuff that we created a few minutes ago. So let me just actually go and open up the messages so we can see how that looks. Okay, so you can see here, there's the first message replicated with the 2 choices and the persistent contact form button that I enabled. If I click on this, I've got the next 2 messages there. I can click on carousels and bring those up. So if I click on this, that opens up in a new tab there. And if I click on this, that will take me back to the menu. And you can see the attached image here and the attached URL here, which will be hyperlinked on the web chat and just embedded in the message on Facebook. So let's try out the contact form now. So under normal circumstances, if I click on Contact Us, the bot will take me into the contact flow. So if I fill this out, once I've answered all those questions, a notification will be sent to my email, and then this information will be added to the contact dashboard, which I'll show you in a minute. If I go back to chat, I'll return to the bot. Now, if I go to the bot menu here, you can see a live chat, a sub menu here. So if I click on that, now I am logged into the live chat interface. And now if a user clicks on Contact Us while I'm logged in, I'll be taken to this new flow, which will type in your message for our live agents. So if I say, hello, I get a notification. You can hear it right there. And a new chat has been opened up. So if I click on that, I will see the user message there. And if I type a message back from the interface, that will show up here in the same chat as the bot. And I can have a nice back and forth with the user there. Okay, so we can have a nice conversation, a live conversation with the user there. And then if I go and log out, and let's restart chat. And if I click Contact Us again, now that the agent's logged out, I am sent back to the contact form. So the users will only get sent to the live chat flow if someone is actually logged in to the live chat interface, just to make sure that someone is actually available to take their message. Now, if I go into the contacts here, you can see where I filled out the information in the contact form here, with the name, the email, the message, and then if I click on chat history here, you can see the full history that of the person's conversation with the bot. So you can tell how they got to the contact form, whether they tried to ask this question to Smart Answers, which I'll get to in a second, and all that information. You can also export all the available contacts information into a CSV. And also in the live chat, you can also check the chat history. So here you can see, again, the user's entire interaction with the bot up to the point that they requested the live chat and started talking to you. Okay, so Smart Answers. Let's give that a try here. So first of all, yeah, when you go to this drop-down menu, you can see the Smart Answers sub-menu here. If you click on that, so here you can see in a similar format to the CSV, you have the answers in one column, the questions in another column. And you can add new Q&A pairs through this interface. You can edit existing pairs. So if I go and type in a new question here, that automatically adds it to the data set. I can change the text of the answer. You know, I can delete that. And it automatically updates that. So any changes that I make here are automatically made to the data set in the bot. So let me demonstrate here. So if I go to the bot here and a user, for example, types in, where is my order? That will go to, oh, that sent me to the contact form. That sent me to the contact form. Okay. We'll just cut that out too. Let's see here. What is your, here we go. Oh no. What is your returns policy? Okay, so as you can see here, I've typed in what's your returns policy, which matches up with this Q&A pair. So I've been given this answer. So I'll say yes, that answered my question. If I type in here, let me go and delete that. And I type in something went wrong. I couldn't find the answer to that question. So that obviously didn't answer the question. So if I go in now and add something went wrong to this set and try again. As you can see, yeah, there it's been automatically immediately updated with everything that I've added here. So you can very quickly and easily update your data set here, adding new Q&A pairs, editing answers, editing questions, and that'll all be reflected right away in the actual bot. So when the users give feedback, so let's just say no here. So now, as you can see there, I've asked a question, I've had it answered, I responded yes. I asked a question and it was not answered. Then I asked another question and I responded no, that it did not answer my question. So if I go to the unanswered questions tab, this will show me all the times that users have asked questions to the bot and either not received an answer or received an answer that was wrong. So let me, and then if I go to answered questions here, this will show me all the times that a user answered a question or asked a question and the bot answered it and they indicated that that was the right answer. Okay, so if I go back in here and I ask a new question, do you have any new products? And the bot is not able to find an answer to that question. So what I want to do is go into Smart Answers, go to unanswered questions, and I have, do you have new products? So this was asked, no answer was provided, and it also does not match any of the questions that I already have in the data set. So what I can do here, I can delete this one to clean things up because that's already on the, that's already in the data set now. And if I click this green check mark here, I can add this as a new Q&A pair. Well, I could add it to the existing answers by searching here. We have, so if I wanted to add it to an existing question, I can just start typing the question or any of the words in the question, and I'll get a list of matching ones there or answers there that I can add it to. But in this case, I just want to add it to make a new Q&A pair. Yes, we have lots of new products. Not super helpful information, but it'll suffice as an example. And if I press update, there, so that's been added to the Q&A pair now. And if I go in here and ask the same question again, you have new products. then I get the correct answer, and I can say yes there. So that is basically how the Smart Answers feature works. After you've made changes to the Q&A pairs here, you can download a new CSV that will reflect those changes, and you can then make changes to that or send it around to internally in your business or whomever to make changes, and then you can upload it to update the Smart Answer set that way as well. Okay, so go back to the dashboard here. So once the bot has been in use for a while, you can monitor the performance through the stats dashboard. And of course, it's yes. So once your bot has been in action or deployed for at least a day, you'll be able to go and check the performance and the stats menu. Okay, so these are some example stats. You'll have to wait, as I said, at least a day for the stats of your own bot to start registering here. But this is just to give you an example of the sort of things that we're reporting on. So you have total sessions, which is an individual user using your bot for a specific length of time, total messages exchanged, those sorts of metrics. You can narrow it down by platform from specific date ranges, so you can get a bit more granular there. And you can download all of this as a CSV file in order to view it that way, or you can use this interface here. Also break the stats down by day, depending on the range that you checked, by month as well, by default there. And what else we got here? So actions. These are sort of individual actions within the bot. How many times users hit specific sections like the Smart Answers, the live chat, etc. We break down engagement here. So low, medium, and high, how many users are engaged at each level. And then under advanced, you can get down to see day of the week by day, the usage of the bot there. So that gives you a pretty good idea of the sort of things that we're covering and how your bot is doing. And once the bot is deployed, you can still go back in and edit everything. You can change the order of the messages. You can add new messages, new carousels, new media. You can go into the settings and change the default responses, enable or disable live chat, and the other features. And all of those changes, once saved, will be pushed automatically to the bot wherever it is deployed. And of course, you can change your profile information from the menu at the top right. There are a number of resources available, documents that will help you work your way through all these features in a bit more detail, and some best practices and other documents for your use there. And that's pretty much it as far as actually using the tool goes. Russ, anything else we can add there?
No, I think that's great. If there are any questions, feel free to email us at info@massively.ai. Dylan is our senior conversational designer, who is will be available to answer questions, or somebody else on our team will get back to you with any answers. But as Dylan mentioned off the start, when you log in, you will be prompted to start your free trial, which will unlock all the features you've seen here. One of the things that we didn't show is if you don't want to unlock the free trial, there is an option to continue without starting that using a free version of the Mat by Massively platform. So you will still be able to build your conversations and build your flows and deploy those to various channels or one channel in the free version, and have a contact flow enabled. You will not have access to the live chat. You will not have access to smart answers, and you will be limited in terms of the amount of engaged users you have. But that option is there for you as well. So you can start there if you want to ladder up. But I would encourage you to build a robust experience to start. And at the end of your free trial, if you so choose, you can automatically change your package, move down a tier or 2 tiers, or to the free tier if you so choose. We will kind of continue to monitor the free trial for you. So we're going to kind of work with you as your free trial progresses to make sure that you're getting everything that you can out of the platform and out of the experiences that you're building. But from a going forward basis, if you have questions, just drop us a note and we will get back to you. All right, thank you, Dylan, and thanks everybody for joining us today. And that was Matt by Massively. Have a great day.